MLB 9 innings. Today we're talking skills. We're talking training. We're going to be reevaluating it. So previously it said I plus contact times 1.35 plus power times 1.7. That's kind of your weighted training score. So um, contact is significantly better than I. Um, we're looking at that based on the results. So here's the Astros team. There's three pairs of players that have the same skill set. So Altuve's got charisma and slugger instinct. Same with Marwin. Correa and Reddick have charisma and ace killer, and Brantley and um, Gurriel have charisma legend. So the issue that I noticed is if you draw lines between the three pairs, you see a much steeper slope for um, Correa and Reddick, Brantley and Gurriel versus Marwin and Altuve. Some of that, I think, it's because it's not a straight line. There's a curve to it, but still it's too much. So if I take a curve and fit it between Marwin and Altuve and apply the same curve down to Gurriel, Brantley's above that line significantly. So I think what this is telling me is that the weighted trainings are off. So I went and looked, comparing the three sets. Uh, I drew lines between the two, and then if you remember your eighth grade algebra, y equals mx plus b. So the say near Altuve, the 0.0032x, that's the slope of the line. So I expect Reddick to have the highest slope, then Brantley kind of close behind, and then some little bit of a drop off, just if you're trying to fit a curve to a straight line. So I kind of was looking at, all right, what's the difference that's driving this? And you can see, all right, Brantley versus Gurriel. So I think I has a better impact. You could see Reddick versus Correa. So if you look at, say, Brantley versus Gurriel, that really high I should be having more of an impact, which would, and it's a little counterintuitive, the further he is from Gurriel, maintaining that OPS, you're going to reduce the slope of the line. So it would put it from, past 470, the more credit you give I. So if you weight I more, it's going to push Brantley out relative to Gurriel, and it'll drop the slope of the line. So I played around with that and came up with some new weighting conclusions. So I's 1, cons 1.05, and powers 1.45. Now you see the slopes make a little more sense. Reddick being the highest because it's really close, and then Brantley, and then Altuve. And you can sort of see with the curved line right here, you see that's a higher slope, and then it starts tapering off. So then I want to apply it and see how it fits in real life. So this is starting to make a lot more sense now. Obviously this x-axis changes, but Gurriel and Brantley line up. You got Correa and Reddick lining up, and you got Marwin and Altuve lining up. The other thing I can do is, all right, so is there a formula Um, so I had to look at, for a parabolic curve, you need a third data point. So I had to see where this line is crossing here and make a third data point in order to fit a curve. Um, so now we have three curves, and they once you put in the um, trend line, this is all in Excel. So I don't know if you know, um, adding a trend line. So if you have an XY scatter plot and you put add trend line, that's how you create this, and you go to polynomial. Um, so here, yeah, I think the real takeaway is that you have three lines that have a very similar formula. So bottom line is, now I'm feeling really confident in the new weightings. So if we apply this to the Mets team, actually, let's go back and just draw some conclusions here first. So anything above the line is going to be better. So Springer with Slugger Instinct and Spotlight is just crushing it. So I think that is the new best skill set. I mean, he's just much higher than where he should be. If say he had charisma, Slugger Instinct, he'd be on that line. But he's much higher than that. You have like Ensberg with Barrel It Up and Slugger Instinct, and it's pretty close to the line, so it's doing pretty good. Charisma Legend is slightly better than Charisma Ace Killer, probably because once you get your team decks, um, Ace Killer stops being as active. So it's only active sometimes. So maybe lower OVRs, it's better. Once you start getting up, it becomes less and less valuable. Interesting that Charisma Training Junkie is slightly better than Charisma Legend, which was mentioned a long time ago or that Training Junkie is better than Legend long time ago in one of the original Reddit skill reviews, but there it is in practice. All right, now how's it fit with the Mets team? So for me, Charisma Prediction is still doing really well. This is the line fitted there. And then Dom Smith doing pretty good with Charisma Spotlight. So the one challenge I have is Molitor, who has Charisma Spotlight, and he was well underperforming expectations. So you would think he would be up closer to McNeil. I think it's just because his power's too low. It's just not getting it over the fence. So once the club hits level 8 and we can get those redistribution tickets, I'm going to try and get re-rolling it until I can get a absurdly high power number and see what happens there. Bruce doing all right with batting machine prediction. And this is 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks worth of data, and not everybody played every week. I tried just not to tank to get consistent results from week to week, but could be a little bit of gray area between week to week how people are doing. Alonso doing pretty darn good with Spotlight and Barrel It Up, so that's a good combination. And I got to get Ozzie Smith up with something else, besides Ace Killer. So, But he's kind of third in the pecking order of skill changes. First, I need to do DeGrom Prime, and then Hunley once I get him, and then I can get to Ozzy, and then see what else there is. But so I'm just gonna have to live with it now because I just don't want to burn through all my tickets. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Let me know what skill questions you have. The longer I have consistent players with the same data, you can get better and better results. You know, if you have somebody for several weeks, you can see the difference. You know, what am I trying to say? That the up condition, down condition stops mattering because over the course of 6 weeks or so, you're going to hit both on all the players. So you sort of round out the stats, average them out. So anyway, the other conclusion, you know, if you have a good I number, say I's number 2, you really want power to be number 1. If I's number 2, it's, you know, and you have low fielding and speed, that's okay. I mean, all I'm seeing is a 5% difference in the weighting. So, but you do want power to be number 1. So anyway, hope that was interesting, and let me know what you think. Happy grinding.